How dare you bother me when I'm making a video? What do you mean? I told you I don't want you in here. We're rolling? Oh, hi everybody. It's Vinyl Rich here. How's everybody doing? This is Vinyl Rich with Vinyl Videos number 28. I got a few albums, not many, but a couple of really good ones, so I thought I'd make a video. I'm here all alone, so you know, what the heck. First one here. First off, let me just say I have 8 people that have entered my contest. March 3rd is going to be 1 year in the VC, so I decided to do a contest. Kind of celebrating that milestone. So far, the Vinyl Kaleidoscope, Cold Wax MN, JD Mac, Dead Wax 66, Thump Finger, Eric Medeiros, the Vinyl Potato, and Sean Doyle have all entered my contest. Okay, first off, very first album here. It's not their greatest album. Well, let me just show it here. Got the Yardbirds, Little Games. Pretty cool cover. As you can see, there is some ring wear on this. I guess that's why it wasn't too expensive. It wasn't what I would call cheap though either. This kind of this album, I like it. I mean, it's as you can see right here, it's a Jimmy Page era Yardbirds. I mean, to be honest, I have one Yardbirds album, and it's the greatest hits. I must have bought that in the 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, and for me that was, you know, I thought it was, you know, that's enough. In fact, that kind of brings up a topic of discussion that I've had recently with Mean Mr. Merle. You know, what consists of a fan? And it's always been my opinion, you know, if you're good with the greatest hits package or album of a band, you're not really a fan. You might like that band, but you're not really a fan of that band. I mean, fan is short for fanatic, you know, as we all know. And we kind of went back and forth, and he said that he had a cousin that said that you don't really have to own any albums by a band to be a fan of them. And you know, that got me thinking, and you know what, he's right. You know, I'm putting a monetary thing on being a fan, and you know, so who knows? You know, only the person themselves know if they're a fan or not, and nobody else can really disagree with that. But yeah, I had a really good discussion with Mean Mr. Mayo. I don't know if he's bring himself down to this level to watch my video, but if you do, take care, brother. It's all good. Anyways, back to this album. It's later stuff. I don't think any of these are really on that. In fact, I know none of these are on that Greatest Hits album I have. But I do know, I do have a double CD of theirs, the Greatest Hits. I thought, you know, that's definitely enough. But you know, now I'm buying vinyl again, and I saw this really cool looking, psych looking cover. So I mean, I couldn't pass it up. I mean, I am familiar with Little Soldier Boy, Tinker Tailor Soldier Sailor, Little Games. I believe those are all on the double CD that I have of them. But I like this album quite a bit. I mean, it's not a great album. I guess the band complained that the record company was just interfering too much. They were forcing them to try to make singles when that's not the direction they wanted to go in. And eventually the band broke up. For the better, as we all know. I mean, not everybody's a Led Zeppelin fan. I'm Mr. Mayo. But yeah, this is a good album. I'm really glad I got it. And it's I mean, there's a little bit of ring wear on the top, and it's very slight here. I mean, there's a little bit there, but you can really see it here. And in the back, I'll be able to clean this up. I've learned a few tricks, you know, since being on watching videos on the VC. In fact, me and Mr. Mail showed one where he used some glass wax, I believe it was. It was some product that was probably out in the 50s and 60s, and I remember this stuff. It's in a pink can, and man, it cleans the white parts of the album. Like, I mean, it makes it shiny. And I think he's afraid to use it on the color part, or probably he already knows it takes the color right off. But anyways, this is on the Epic label. It's, I wouldn't call it mint, near mint. I mean, I don't know. It's got a few, I mean, this side really doesn't even have superficial scratches. This one has a little bitty scratch on the last song, Little Soldier Boy, but I played it and it was nothing. So I mean, this is in excellent shape and great album. I mean, not a great album, but it's a great addition. Let's put it that way. This next album kind of falls in the same category. Well, no, it doesn't. This is a band, Butthole Surfers, Ecstasy. This is probably a shot when they were playing live. This is a band that I do have quite a bit of their vinyl, whereas Yardbirds, that's probably my first vinyl other than the Greatest Hits one I have. And this is a band where if I see something in good condition of theirs, I'll probably buy it if, you know, if it's not one I already own. And this is like alternate version of American Woman, which the very first song I said, one very cool, really cool. I don't know if anybody's ever heard the American version, American Woman, the Butthole Surfers version, but it's real. I mean, it's like an early example of industrial music. I mean, it's pretty cool. Then they got Come Together. It's recorded live, and then they got some other Hurdy Gurdy Man, another song that they really covered really well. And in fact, I sent a link to their version to Mr. Bobby Gass, because he just posted a Hurdy Gurdy. He's been posting some Donovan songs. Got Matchstick. Then there's a copy of Creep in the Cellar, one of their original songs. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then on side one, you got Ecstasy 1, 2, and 3. It's not their great album. Some of the songs are absolutely fantastic, though, and I'm really glad I got it. I found that at Amoeba Records, and this is what the label looks like. It's just a plain white label with a stamp on it. And the other side is just plain white. And it says whatever the name, the number of the album. It's Ecstasy. For best results, turn this record up very loud. 1989. Very cool album. And yeah, I have a lot of Butthole Surfers, and eventually I'll make a Butthole Surfers video. Really cool. One of my favorite bands from the 80s. There's probably 6 bands that I say that about continuously, and that's one of them. This next one, Merle Haggard. This came out in the late 70s. It says 76, 77. It's on Capitol Records, and I did not think they were still on Capitol Records at that time. I could be wrong. This could be maybe his last album or so on that label. But I just got this album. I mean, I like Merle Haggard. I have a couple of his albums. But yeah, the name of the album is "A Working Man Can't Get Nowhere Today." and that's getting more true now than it ever has been. And it's got some really cool titles of songs. I haven't heard this album yet. Working Man Can't Get Nowhere Today, Blues for Dixie, Moanin' the Blues, I'm a White Boy. Yeah, really cool album. I know a lot of people don't really like country, but it was that country beat and that rhythm and blues that kind of mixed together over there in that South, you know, Memphis, Nashville area down there and deeper in the South, and rock and roll was born, you know. This next album, Miles Davis at Fillmore. He played at the Fillmore Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. It's a gatefold. It's a double album. And side 1 is simply entitled Wednesday. Side 2 is simply entitled Thursday. Side 3 Saturday. Side 3 Friday, and side 4 Saturday. And what it is his producer, Theo Maceo or something like that. I'm not going to bother squinting my eyes here. And Theo Maceo. He edited each night's performance and made a 20-minute song out of it. So it's like a continuous song on each side. When this album came out, I had it. I mean, I didn't buy it when it came out, but in the 72, 3, 4 era, when I was really into this kind of jazz, I had it. And it wasn't one of my favorites by him. It's kind of broken up a lot, but I like it a lot better now than I did then. I mean, I like this album a lot. They do have a new, I've only seen it on CD, where it's the complete concert. One CD is the complete show of Wednesday, and then, you know, it's 4 CDs, and it's like the complete show. And those are fantastic. I definitely prefer those over this, but this is cool to have. The only thing is, I turned out, which has happened a couple of times, I need to really put that shelving up so I can see what I have. I already have this album. And so I thought, well, maybe it's an upgrade. And it's got ring wear here, and it's almost exact same condition. I mean, it is so surprising how similar the condition is. And my dog's over there watching me again. What's Daddy doing, Bench? And this is a later press, so it isn't exactly so this is a different. This is on that later press Capitol, whereas my other one is a different label. So yeah. What the hell am I talking about? This is the Merle Haggard later Capitol. This is the label on the Miles Davis. That 70s Columbia. So yeah, it's almost exactly the same. Okay, I got one more here. This is definitely a grail for me, and this is a weird copy. Pink Floyd, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. This is a grail for me. I didn't have the early Pink Floyd. I think the earliest Pink Floyd album that I own is that Umaguma, which I'm not a fan of. I think after Syd Barrett left, Pink Floyd didn't really hit their stride until Metal came out. And then Metal On, they made like 4 or 5 great albums, which I own a couple of. I don't own that many. But yeah, this is a really cool. It's a flip back on the top and on the bottom. Let me just show the record real quick. I don't need to show that. It's on the Columbia? Yeah. It's on a Columbia label. And this was Preston England. Where I saw this at, this seller, he had 2 of this album. He had this copy, and he had one of the U.S. Tower copies. This one was $14 more than the Tower one, so I picked it up. And I've since, he said it was an Israeli copy. So I looked, after I bought it, I got it home, and that's the number, SCX617 stereo version, which I don't mind the stereo version. I kind of like the stereo version of these psychedelic albums where it flows. I mean, that's what I'm used to, that's what I grew up on, and, you know, call me a hippie kid, you know, whatever. But it turns out this was Preston England, actually Preston England. So the sound of this is superior to that Tower version. And the album cover, from what I'm reading online, was also pressed in England, and they were exported to Israel for sale in Israel. But yeah, I finally got a copy of the Pink Floyd's first album. And I was tickled pink to find this. It's on the Columbia right here. It says EMI Records. So it's a pretty interesting copy. But more importantly, this thing is, I mean, this thing looks, there's no superficial scratches at all on that side. And I mean, this thing is, it's not mint, of course not. It's a used album, but it's pretty darn close to it. I mean, excellent plus, whatever you guys, I don't know. But anyways, that's it. I only showed 5 albums, and this video took 17 minutes, a little longer than I had planned, but it's all good. Everybody, take care.